I was recently at the Sunbelt Builder Show and kind of cruising around looking for cool things. And I ran into our first guest today, Paul Forsman. He is with Design Basics Houseplans. And this is a company that you would buy a prepared set of plans from. Basically, footprints of houses or plans of houses that are already prepared that you would maybe make some alterations or things like that. It's kind of like when you're looking at the internet and you see your dream home, you go, man, that looks awesome. And you can actually just purchase that plan. So let's introduce our first guest today, Paul Forsman. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Alex. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I loved visiting with you at Sunbelt, and I thought, this would be a really cool segment on buying prepared plans. And you looked at me and you said, that's all fine and good. We'll talk about that. But what I really want to talk about is women-centric design. And I love that whole idea, of course, in remodeling. That's what I do. It's all about almost all of our residential construction business, it comes down to what mama wants. And so let's talk a little bit. Give me your thoughts about women-centric design and how that works in your company.
It goes back to 2003, and although we were already one of the largest residential design firms in the country, it was kind of a aha moment, and we came to realize and appreciate over the next several months just how much influence the ladies were having in terms of the homes that were being built. Our customer base was primarily male. Most general contractors, most home builders, and most of the tradespeople working on the homes are guys. We'd been getting some great feedback from our builders, but we didn't realize that a lot of that feedback was coming through kind of a set of male filters.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we started specifically researching and asking and spending more time with and focus groups with the ladies and giving them permission to tear apart our designs and what would you do differently, or maybe they just moved in and boy, if you could do it all over again. We started getting some invaluable feedback, and that's guided our design process now for almost the last 20 years.
One of the things that I've said to people for many years is I can pretty much walk into a house and tell you if it was designed by a male or a female. Mostly because I walk in pretty nice homes, even brand new homes, with a woman, and she's like, "Why'd they do that?" And I go, because it's the guy. He doesn't do the laundry. He doesn't care about what you think. If you want to find out if a guy did it, look at the man cave or look at the garage, or maybe the master bath. It'll have a really nice shower, but maybe not a tub. What are some of the things that you've learned that women would do differently than men?
We studied a little bit about how women look at home design and its suitability for her and her household. And we discovered there are basically four primary lenses that women will look at design through. The first one is de-stressing, and where in that home will she go to relax, to maybe recharge or rejuvenate. It's interesting you mentioned the large shower. We did a piece of research, and 78% of all of our respondents, many respondents, the question was, if you have a tub in the master bath, how often do you take a bath in that tub? 78% said never.
Right.
And so the larger shower is what people are expecting in new homes today, whether or not there's a tub in that owner's bath.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yes, there has to be a tub somewhere in the home, but if it doesn't have a larger shower, people are just going on to the next home to look at.
Well, and over the years, I've learned that a lot of people like to shower together. And that really got us started as well as I remember in the 80s, when I was first getting in business and remodeling larger homes. one of the big uh, deals in those in some bathrooms, we call them California bathrooms. We had the tub in the shower, but but double shower heads, and of course now you have the big rain heads and all the stuff that you can have, and I totally get that. I totally get that.
Yeah, I'm
What
sure
about
you would
kitchen?
know. And
So there were four things. I'm sorry to interrupt you. There were four things.
right. So just one other good example I think of de-stressing is the whole idea of when you come in the garage. Recon Analytics did some research and they found out that 91% of the time, if you have an attached garage, you're coming in and out of the house through the garage there.
Hmm.
And if you're walking into a laundry mud room and there's piles of laundry waiting to be done, you've just come home after a long day. It's been a tough day. That's stressful.
No kidding.
And so,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
having a separate laundry room altogether and making the rear foyer not a mud room, but I mean, the front entry foyer is something really special. The rear foyer, the primary entrance of the home, maybe it's not going to have as much money spent to make that impression, but it should still be something that's very accommodating. Moms of elementary age school kids taught us that kids know how to use lockers at school. And so at 7:15 in the morning, that's where the lunch is, and that's where the coats and the backpacks and the science project and the gym clothes, it's all staged there. And it's not, Mom, Dad, have you seen my, we can de-stress the
So
morning.
it's being able to organize
Yeah,
everybody before the storm hits.
right. And
You're
that's that
screaming at them
second
to get out.
lens.
You're screaming at them to get down and get in the car. You don't want to have to run around and find their lunch pail.
Absolutely. But organization and storage in general
Uh
is the
huh.
second of those lenses. And we've never designed a home that had too much storage space.
No.
We've been doing this since 1983. We've got 2,500 plans or so, but none of them that have too much storage space. And bigger kitchen pantries. You see it all the time. I'm absolutely certain on the remodeling
Mm-hmm.
side, but now we're seeing much more common to have the pantry, if it's big enough, to also be a prep area. It's an extension of the kitchen because the kitchens are so much more open for entertaining, that they're really kind of thought of as both that functional space and the aesthetic of being an entertaining
And
space.
they are part of the entertainment and part of the family gathering area. Yeah, it's the heart of the home. And then as far as the pantry, and now in the older homes we had that we called them butlers pantries, and you would have a food prep area, or if you entertained a lot, you had a place that you could have servers do meal prep, or whatever stage for maybe prepping for entertaining a large group of people. Or sometimes we would build them large enough that they were actually an alternate, like, small kitchen where you could go in and do, maybe it'd have a dishwasher. It's a way to sort of get things out of the main part, and that makes a lot of sense because now we've opened everything up to where the kitchen and the main entertainment area are all combined.
And in fact, we call that a work-in kitchen, not merely a walk-in kitchen, but a work-in.
That's interesting.
Where,
Hmm.
yeah, as long as you've got a sink and a dishwasher in there, you may also have a wall oven or at least a microwave.
Yes.
But especially for folks that do a lot of entertaining, and the guests start arriving at 5:30, you can close the door off to that work-in kitchen, but the main kitchen's beautiful, presentable, all the food's hot,
Right.
ready to
Right.
go. And then you can clean that area up later. It might be more of an ethnic situation, and you're looking for kind of a kosher kitchen area separate for some of the preparation from the rest of the kitchen. It
Hmm.
might be due to smells. It might be, very fragrant, very aromatic, and maybe not some of the smells that you want to have invading the rest of your home.
Well, and part of it is flow, and so you want to be able, when you're entertaining a large group, you want to be able to maybe remove dishes and serving dishes and stuff in a way that people can move around. Let's say you have an island or some sort of a buffet. They're being served on, so you can move stuff around and not be running over each other. Is my point. It's a traffic flow thing. We used to design a lot of kitchens in larger homes around that traffic flow. That's very interesting. So what's next on the what's number 3 on the list of important things?
And we were just touching on it, is the whole idea of entertaining. And how the home entertains is so related to how that individual prefers to entertain. Uh, it seems that formal entertaining is sliding out in favor of more casual entertaining, more along the lines of get-togethers. But still, how does the home facilitate that? Indoor and outdoor entertaining, and what is that connection? And for folks that do like to entertain a lot, is there a second entertaining spot? So maybe the kids and their video games or whatever they're doing, whatever they're playing, doesn't necessarily interrupt what the parents are doing, what the adults are gathered together and their conversations. So
Hmm.
how the home entertains is really related to the buyer's preference there.
Now, have you found that we've deformalized our homes a bit in the last, oh, I don't know, 20 years? In other
Absolutely.
words, we don't have as many big formal rooms, a big formal living room, big formal dining room.
Yeah, and that just ties in with the more open concept. It seems like we're putting more emphasis on practical, usable space rather than having that dining room or that formal living room that's more of the showpiece, but only gets used half a dozen times a year.
Right.
So yeah, we've definitely seen a trend toward more usable, functional spaces. But because everything's open, it's also got to be beautiful.
That's that exactly. Excuse me. Pardon me. I've got a frog jumped in my throat this morning. Uh, um, well, that's right. And then when we talk about the last year and a half, and we talk about people officing out of their homes, all of that is super valuable space. It's important space now that you can't have a room you don't use anymore in a house.
That's absolutely right. And you just led into the fourth of those four lenses, and we call it flexible living. And so where that learning from home center is going to be, it could be college kids taking online classes, or it could be all of our kids over the last year who were remote learning. It could be that home office. Some flex spaces are dual purpose because it can be home office by day, guest room by night type
Right,
of thing.
right.
It can be larger laundry areas that double as a craft room. But the flexibility of spaces, because from our side of the business, when we publish a home plan, and if we say, this is bedroom 4, it's a 3-bedroom, 1-story layout, and here's bedroom 4, then that's how people tend to see that. If we label that same bedroom 4 as flex space, that opens up their imagination a little bit for how they would use that space as opposed to defining it as bedroom 4.
That's fascinating to me. So, tell us the process that you go through to get to a plan. So, we're talking about essentially a prepared. Did I describe that right earlier? Sort of when you're looking on the internet and you could my favorite house plans pops up, or my dream home, and you look at all these different floor plans of these houses. I do it all the time. I love it. And you kind of fantasize about, wow, or maybe you've got your significant other with you and you're going, man, we would love that one. That one worked great for us. We'll downsize, we'll whatever it is. How do you get to where you as a company decide on these plans and what a good design is?
Well, our core customer base is the professional home builder. And so we're talking with builders all the time about what they need in homes, what they're hearing from customers in terms of what the customers are looking for and what's going to work price point wise, those types of things. Uh, our home designs are designed once and sold repetitively, sold multiple times to
Hmm.
folks from across the country. And so where it might be $5,000 to design, prepare, copyright, marketing materials, all of that engineering for these plans, we might be able to sell that plan for $1,000. And so the home buyer has or the builder has a very inexpensive route to a really good quality design. And because we do have the opportunity to sell it repetitively, we can offer it at a very attractive price. We
Well,
can
and you
also
do a
send
lot
it
of
to them.
research going into your plans. I mean, the thing that I'm impressed with is that the amount of research that you do. So you're not just throwing out you're not taking a high school kid and going, here, do your best here. I've seen that in the past, actually. Particularly builders are terrible about it. They'll get the cheapest person they can and have them do a little blue line somewhere or a little, just a line drawing, and they'll go out and want to build a house with. Those were the old days. I don't know that you can do that anymore. It's a lot more
Not very,
sophisticated now, but um, and so I love the idea that you're doing the research on what women want and women centric homes. I think that that's very, very important, and that sort of goes down the line in many different aspects. Actually, you can take that into a whole lot of different formats. I really like the idea that you're doing that. What are um, some of the questions people would have, particularly a homeowner, if they're wanting to just buy some of your plants? And can a homeowner buy them, or is it just builders?
about half of our business is directly with the home buyer.
Uh-huh.
And so our business is split fairly evenly down the middle.
That's
Um,
interesting. And so do they have to, if a home buyer or a homeowner, we'll say the homeowner purchases your plan and they have issues with, say, building codes, things like that. A question they would have is, do I need an engineer? I mean, there's some basic things that people are going to need to know. Do you have a person that works directly with them, or do they just purchase it and they're on their own?
we do have a plan alterations team,
Hmm.
a department here at Design Basics. And so we'll make whatever modifications a customer can ask us for in the way of design. Our plans are engineered, but we're in Omaha, Nebraska. So our
Hmm.
plans are engineered, the basic underlying plan is engineered for our local conditions. We do have an engineering company that can stamp plans for any jurisdiction in the United States if somebody doesn't have a local resource. But yes, it's not uncommon at all that somebody is going to need to talk to a local engineer. For example, the soil conditions in your area, um, and if they're going
Mobile
to do a
soil.
floating slab, they're they're going to need to find a local engineer to
Right.
engineer that slab for them. And so, while our plans are designed to the international residential building codes, we can't necessarily warrant that it's going to absolutely work as you receive it from us. You may
Of
need to talk
course.
to a
I mean,
local
every
engineer.
community's different. Everybody has different, code regulations and things like that have to be abided by, and you just have to be able to deal with that. Whether you're the builder or the homeowner, doesn't matter. You still have to deal with those same issues. Well, that was a fascinating discussion. I really appreciate you coming and spending some time with us this morning. I enjoy looking through your website, looking at your plans, and I love the idea of the women's centric planning. I think that's very, very brilliant. And I wish you well. Hope you guys have a lot of continued success.
Well, thank you very much, Alex, for inviting me to be here today, and we would love to have the opportunity to talk again.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you so much. Have a great
Bye bye.
day. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk to my very, very good friend, Mr. Eduardo Padilla of, Platinum Turnkey Solutions. I drew a blank there for a second. That's not unusual. We'll be right back.